cop, police officer, has now been charged because he decided to hit a man for jaywalking. I kid you not. Here's a video.
Yes, very irate.
All right, hold on. Time out. Stop. I ain't even doing nothing. I'm not even doing nothing. I'm not. Y'all got y'all cameras on?
Yep.
Please don't.
Put your hands behind your back.
Time out. Put your hands behind your back. Come on, don't do that to me. Hey! Get out of the gun. Hey! Help! Face, bro. I can get my hands behind my back, bro. I can get my hands behind my back. Why is all whoop my hold on, time out.
Stop, man. Roll over.
Time out, why is all? Hold on.
Roll over, man.
Hold on, time out. Over. What?
Roll the over.
Roll over. Help!
Roll over.
Help! 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 Help!
Roll over.
Help! Hey, what's mine?
Roll over.
Hey!
For jaywalking. Jaywalking. The man cannot roll over with cops on top of him. It was a manipulation of circumstances what the cops were engaged in. He cannot put his hands behind his back because they were pinned down. Let's put up the screenshot double. You have the cop. I'm going to get into this fully. A Michigan state trooper is now facing charges for punching a black man in the chest after reportedly accosting him for jaywalking. Trooper Paul E. Arrowood was suspended 20 days after the September 4th beating. In a report, he admitted to striking the man at least 13 times with a closed fist as a form of physical control. An MSP investigation yielded a felony charge of misconduct in office and misdemeanor charge of assault and battery for the trooper on March 3rd. Let me give you the legal trouble the trooper faces. Arrowood now faces up to 5 years in prison and a $10,000 fine for the felony charge. He could face up to 93 days in jail and a $500 fine for the misdemeanor charge. His attorney entered a not guilty plea on his behalf on March 3rd. He was booked and fingerprinted, but did not spend time in jail. The judge set a $7,500 personal recognizance bond, that's a signature bond, for the trooper. And he must return to court on the 21st of March. That is his prelim hearing. History of misconduct. In 2020, MSP found that he violated policy after pulling his weapon on a 27-year-old black man who had a legally owned gun and detaining him in July. The black motorist filed a racial discrimination complaint. Officer Arrowood was in fact disciplined because they found the complaint credible. However, agency officials did not disclose the punishment the trooper received, which is protected under state law. The George Floyd Policing and Accountability Act would have usurped that ridiculous state law. There's more. Following the attack, Michael D. Wilson was treated by an ambulance on the scene and was charged with assaulting, resisting, or obstructing police. The charges were obviously later dropped, but he was hit with similar charges for another incident in November with the Saginaw police. Saga continues. Jaywalking. The federal government has to get more involved in these cases, even if law prevents them from being able to utilize statutory dynamics from the federal government to do so. They can withhold funding from these police departments, dry them up as far as functional operating agencies, and mandate change before that money comes back to them. Biden can do that without the requirement of Congress. My dear sister, thoughts here.
Yeah, you almost can't expect cops to not be power hungry the way we elevate them in society. You can't expect them to not let that power go to their heads. You can't even expect them to be, the best or the most just or even the most ethical people in the community because they're not vetted to be. And then on top of that, we give them deadly weaponry with which they're supposed to defend themselves, but we've seen them abuse that firepower time and time again, knowing that they likely won't suffer any consequences for doing so. In fact, they'll probably be protected in their right to do so. And this particular cop didn't use his gun here, but he certainly used excessive force, I'm sure with the expectation that he wouldn't suffer any consequences for doing so. I'm glad that now he's facing charges, but we need to be better about preventing these incidents from happening in the first place, not just prosecuting them after the fact. And honestly, we're barely good at prosecuting these crimes. We can barely even call them crimes whenever a cop is at fault. We have a long way to go.
Yeah, well said. We'll continue to follow this story as it develops.